Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about AIPI, which is like the twin fund of FEPI, FEPI. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so I was just browsing through this website the other day, and I just happened to notice when I clicked under the covered call ETFs that there's actually another ETF that they came up with. So you can see kind of like their list of leveraged ETFs here, but you can see under the covered call ones, like, ooh, okay. So there is another one similar to FEPI here, except apparently this one is strictly focused on AI. So the ticker symbol is AIPI, AI Equity Premium Income ETF. Excuse me. So you guys can see all of the different financial information here. The fund inception date 6/4, so it was relatively recent. It was only about a week ago. This is the current NAV. So actually, if I go over to Robinhood, we can type this in. So we'll type in AIPI, see if it's up here. So it does look like it is here, available for purchase, and it has been trading. It's actually gone up pretty substantially, as you guys can see, just in the last week alone, about 3%. So 5% just in the last month. So this thing is faring along pretty nicely, I would say. So a couple of things to point out here. So it's currently at a premium. The funds under management is only 1.3 million. It's relatively small, but that's not really surprising because it's a new fund. 25,000 outstanding shares. Number of holdings is 44. I'm not sure if it's actually 44. Maybe some of the holdings that they're referring to is the actual covered call positions on the holdings that they have. I really honestly don't know. So expense ratio 0.65 here, as you guys can see. So the thing I want to point out here is that so you can see there's distributions per share, but it's blank, right? So if I go over here to FEPI, and this is a covered call ETF, as you guys can see here, very similar thing. The the payments that have to be declared yet are still blank. So that leads me to believe that likely this thing is going to pay a dividend because, again, it says distribution per share here. So the first declaration date for this particular one is going to be on the 25th of next month. So if you wanted to pick this up, you would have like roughly about 6 weeks from the look of it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually a little bit longer than 6 weeks. So the declaration date would probably be, so you may have time to pick it up on Thursday, depending on when they announce what the dividend is going to be before Friday, but that remains to be seen. Us personally, we're thinking we're probably going to start picking this thing up, I'd say probably about a couple weeks, maybe before the actual declaration date pops up, because again, the X date is on Friday. And unless you buy the shares before the X date, you're not going to get paid the dividend for that month. So that's, of course, all dividend investors know that. So that's something to point out. So you guys can see it says the BITA. I'm not sure exactly what that is. I'll have to look that up. AI Leaders Select Index is a rules-based composite index that tracks the market performance of companies listed on recognized exchanges based in the U.S. that are at the forefront of AI technologies. The index is rebalanced monthly and reconstituted quarterly. I'm not sure what reconstituted means, but I do know what rebalancing is. So there's kind of a lot more stuff you guys can look into here. You can pop onto the RexShares website anytime you want, look at all this different information that they have. But the thing I want to focus on here is the holdings. So they have NVIDIA, of course, as I'm sure you guys have probably noticed with FEPI, those of you that have it, they also have NVIDIA here, so it seems to be a core position with them. They have ARM, which is interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I think FEPI does not have ARM, so definitely an AI company. Palantir, we actually have some actual shares of those. CrowdStrike, C3 AI, so that's one that YieldMax is in. TSM, that's also a popular one. Semiconductor company. Qualcomm, another semiconductor company. Micron, another one. I have no idea what ASML is. I've actually never even heard of it until today. AMD, YieldMax is in this one as well, and this is also a semiconductor company. There's two things I want to point out here about the holdings. So, number one is I'm actually surprised that they don't have super micro in here. So, SMCI, I thought for sure, as bullish as that one has been over the last year, I thought maybe they might put it in here, but maybe because it's in the Russell 2000, they're not going to take it. I don't know. Maybe they're just basically picking the larger holdings here, or the more well-established companies, which is actually a good hedge in case of the event of a market downturn. And again, I'm not saying there's going to be one, but usually the companies likely to survive some kind of recession or market downturn are going to be the ones like your Nvidia, your ARM, a lot of bigger, not necessarily trillion-dollar companies, but big enough companies to where they have plenty of cash and also cash flow coming in to be able to withstand any downturns. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Palantir. I don't know why I keep getting this feeling, and usually I don't operate based on feelings, but I have a feeling that Palantir at some point in the future is going to be. Let me see if I can find it here. So let's see, AMC. Here's Palantir right here. So you guys can see Palantir is at $24. Carvana's at $104. So I don't know why I get the sense, but I feel like Palantir is going to pull up Carvana at some point in the future and 4 to 5x in price. Don't ask me why I feel this way. It kind of just keeps sticking out to me like a sore thumb for whatever reason. So if I go over here to AIPI's holdings, you guys can see the whole list here. Looks like they actually have quite a few. So let's see. You got NVIDIA, ARM, Palantir, CrowdStrike, C3AI, TSM, Qualcomm, Micron. The other ones listed as before: Broadcom, Meta, Arista, Apple, Synopsys. I don't know what Synopsys is. Microsoft, Alphabet, Cadence, IBM. That's a very popular dividend-paying stock. Intel, also Amazon, ServiceNow, Adobe, Datadog, Salesforce. So a lot of different positions here, quite a bit more actually than, if I'm not mistaken, than with FEPI. As you guys can see, FEPI is a much smaller list, although there is some similar holdings. So NVIDIA, Micron, Meta, Netflix, Apple, AMD, AVGO, Microsoft, Tesla. So basically the Mag 7 in here, Amazon, Google, Intel, Adobe, Palo Alto, and CRM. So, in terms of distributions, what I think that, and I'm just kind of speculating here when I say this, but I think that AIPI is actually probably going to pay a higher distribution than the FEPI ETF. And the reason I say that is because a lot of these AI companies that are in the listings are actually still growing. So, ARM's not, I mean, it's big, but it's not NVIDIA. Okay. Palantir is still relatively small. C3 AI is still relatively small. We still have yet to see the wave of AI hit the market. Again, it takes years for the mass adoption to take place, but at some point it will eventually take place. Micron's another one. Not really too sure about a lot of these other companies, but those list of companies right there, because they're smaller market cap, are likely to kind of boost the overall NAV of AIPI over time. But as you guys can see, AIPI has performed really well over the last month, so up 5%. If I were to compare that to something like FEPI, let's say, you can see FEPI is only up 1.48%, whereas AIPI is up over 5%. So again, that's part of the reason why I say that I think that AIPI is likely going to pay higher distributions. And as the Fed cuts rates, eventually a lot of these smaller companies will end up going back up in value because, again, it's cheaper to borrow, which makes it easier for companies to build and expand on cheaper monetary policy. So anyways, this is our video on AIPI. Hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think about this. If you're going to pick it up, we're going to pick it up. At least some shares, maybe like 20, 30 shares. I'm not sure. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.